guys another video on how to convert X into gold, my new miniature series, I guess, to try to cover how you can turn X currency in ESO into gold. So we did alliance points, we've done crown mimic stones, now we're doing writ vouchers. And this is not a guide on how to get them, this is just solely how you can turn them in for money. If you guys need a guide on the best way to farm writ vouchers, we could certainly discuss that. But this is just how to turn it in, so it'll be nice, short, sweet, where you turn it in at. And the beautiful thing about it is, Deshaun Mournhold, right there, where you buy your writ voucher stuff, right there. Right, you got both places to go, both places you can get stuff from. So before we jump into this, I just want to thank all of you guys for subscribing recently. I've seen an increase of like 200 subscribers in the last like 3-4 days. Absolutely amazing. And I've never even put out a call to action to subscribe. So it really means a lot to me that you guys have been subscribing as much as you have been. And not to get all sentimental, so we'll jump in the video and let's go look at our options. So writ vouchers, for those of you who are unaware, is a currency that you will find right below your Telvar stones. You can see that I've already blown through pretty much all of mine. So I got 24. I've sold a couple different things recently in preparation for this video. And we'll talk about all of those things and my thoughts on all of them. All right, so option number one is these three things right down here at the bottom. Perfect place to start off. What I'm already looking at. So, we always talk about ratios, and we'll always talk about options and when things will increase and when things will decrease in value. So let's talk about converting writ vouchers into research scrolls. These will sell for 4K each. Common sack sizes will range from 1 to 4. All right, so you're already you're going to be running into, okay, it's really good ratio-wise. You'll see this is actually one of the best things to buy ratio-wise at that conversion rate. How quickly are they going to sell? Are they going to take up all your trade slots? And the answer is yes, they will. It's unfortunate, but these things will sit for a hot minute. Now, when these will kind of go down in value and these will start to sell more is anytime there is a huge influx of new players into the game. So anytime there's a double XP event, anytime that players are coming back into the game, these things will increase in value, similar to how Sigic Ambrosias will sell. So if you're watching this video around a time period where there's an influx of people, maybe it's the New Life event, maybe Mid-Year Mayhem is back, maybe it's the Undaunted event, people are just flocking back to the game, they're going to come back, they're going to want to buy these. In the meantime, they will sit. Ratio-wise, you're going to be making about 4,000 gold for every 3, so that's 1,333.33 repeating, of course, which is one of the highest ratios that we will see when looking at these. All right, so now we have these Attunables. Now, right off the bat, let's talk about these. What are they currently selling for? Now, I'm comparing everything to Xbox NA. And the beautiful thing, too, is while the prices will vary based on your console, when they will go up and down in value should be about the same time based on the player base and how things are moving in the game. So, attunable crafting stations generally go up in value whenever there is a new set that is craftable, because people are going to all go out there. Every guild master is going to go out and they're going to try to be the first one to bring these bad boys into their guild halls. It's very popular. They will always attain a decent amount of value. These things right now go in about a market of 220k. So if you take 250 and you divide it by 220, you're getting a ratio of less than what we were getting for, unfortunately, our other pieces. Not nearly as much. It's unfortunate, and if you had to pick one, this is where it gets difficult too. I would say your best bet is generally the clothing station. I feel like I see more clothing stations get sold faster than blacksmithing and woodworking. Again, that could depend. That's just my experience when I sold all three of these in the jewelry station, although I will say jewelry sold the slowest. With clothing selling the fastest. That could be because you get light and medium armor through the clothing station, whereas you only have stabs and shields through the woodworking station. So just keep that in mind. All right. The other thing that I was very big on buying is diminished ethereal dust. Now, it is not the greatest thing to sell either, but this is another thing that will ebb and flow whenever there is a time of high player base. So right now this is 50 RIT vouchers, and it's selling at about 40K right now. Now that is not the greatest ratio. It's actually the lowest of everything I've told you so far, but this is an item to watch anytime you notice that there is a huge influx of players. So when they reworked the champion point system and everyone was trying to grind XP like fucking madmen, this is something that you would look for if you're selling RIT vouchers and they just did that event. As regards to everything else here, I do not recommend buying these two things because while yes, they can actually sell for more, they will sit for a lot longer because most players already have these except for me. And then that's pretty much everything else here that's worth note. You can buy random furnishing plans. I am not 100% a fan of this. But I've also not experimented enough. But in the future, I may discuss this further if it's worth buying a plan. But then you're going to have to really be a furniture seller, which I don't know what everyone's thoughts would be on that. So I don't know if that's the right option for you. Again, my recommendations in here at least would be everything we've talked about down here. And then there's a second seller right here who I also recommend too that you look at. Now see, this is 10 RIT vouchers, and this sells for 1,800. I just ran over to Deshaun right before recording this, so that actually puts us as the highest ratio. Now, why is that? And I will say that ESO has been a game that has been out, I believe, on console for 6-7 years, and most players in that time have accrued to be a 9-trait crafter. Somerset has only been out for less than a few years, which means that people are not nearly as far in the crafting tree of jewelry crafting as they are in everything else. So it will sit like everything else, but this is something that will move faster because endgame players are seeking it more often. We talked about why I think Attunables is a bad option. Outfit stations, please don't even touch it. You could buy an outfit station for like 60K, and everything else here is not worth it. So if you were to come over here in Deshaun, you can see, if you just, you cut the video here if you want. But I'm just going to go show everything that I've seen and then go through the different areas. And this is Xbox NA. I highly recommend you do this. So this is diminished. You can see that there's a healthy amount of them sold. None of them have been on here for longer than 26 days, which generally means that they're selling for a decent rate. They're actually all listed by the same person too, which is really interesting. Check over here, the second trader. Yes, you see it's about the same time, but you see that they're not really going down to like the teens. They're not going down to the single-digit days because they will sell. It's just not at a rate that's going to move your money very quickly. All right, so let's look at Attunables. So you can see here, now you start to get some Attunables who've been on here for a long time. Why is that? Well, Blackwood came out a month ago. Everyone that was like mad dashing to get those sets down, they've already got them all. All your wealthy people with billions of gold, they've already got all the Attunables for the new sets. These are for the people who are coming in and they're just saying, okay, I'll get these Attunables at this rate. Not as profitable as it was. And then research items are actually usually a little more niche to even find. So let's see if we can find. Well, yeah, so you see 4K, 5K. You will be able to eke out a little more gold if you're selling it at a higher stack rate. Or a lower stack rate, excuse me. Usually if you list in the like 1 or 2, people are more likely to buy that than 4 because you can only use them every day, like 1 a day. So that's why people are less likely to utilize them so often. You'll see that 18K number pop up again for jewelry. It's still sitting for a little bit though, so that's my word of caution to you. Although you'll see that the other ones, you're not even seeing stacks 1 because I believe that those are selling pretty quickly for 4,500 or 4K in stacks of 1. So that's my recommendation to you, is if you have the guild space, if you're like me and you have 4 Mournhold traders and you're constantly rotating inventory, constantly taking things in and out, in and out, in and out, this is a good way to utilize your RIT vouchers in a small piece. You're not really risking anything because if the attunable market collapses, you've just got a bunch of research scrolls. Research scrolls will always, kind of teeter in and out of value. So you'll be able to passively sell those and make a little bit of income with your RIT vouchers. But other than that, I just want to thank everyone again for all the recent views I've been getting recently. You guys have been wonderful. And I will be making a video probably next on either Telvar crystals or crystal fragments or some other currency that you guys want, and I will put that up on YouTube as soon as I can. Definitely by this weekend. But if you have any other currencies, if you have any other questions for any currency in ESO and how you can best convert that to the thing of your choosing, just let me know and I will assist you in finding the best way to do it for you. But other than that, I love you all and I'll see you next time.